And now it's time for the most entertaining, unpredictable prediction show on the face of the earth. It's NFL Weekly Predictions, starring Jason Powers, Jay Sizzle, and Steve Champagne. And now to your predictions.
Hey, what's going on? People out there, Super Bowl fanatics, NFL fanatics, fanatics in general that are watching the Super Bowl thing, because this is it,
We don't like to leave anybody out. All fanatics welcome.
This is it. This is the weekend.
This is history in the making.
This is history in the making. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to talk about this show. We do have some interesting facts to present you today. Jason, how are you feeling on this thing? Talk to me.
Well, I hear they're playing a football game on Sunday.
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard that too.
I have two thoughts about this.
Okay.
And they're both related. Basically, they both go back to the same thing. It's a shame that the Super Bowl is in Tampa this year.
Oh, why is that?
Well, for the first reason, it's because, we have the home team for the first time in the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? This is supposed to be a big deal. But because of COVID restrictions, they're only selling 15,500 tickets, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. If you include the boxes, which they don't count in that total. So you're looking at 17.5. So the stadium's going to be like a third full. And I just recently heard they're not going to allow them to fire off the cannons.
Okay.
They can fire them off pre-game, but the NFL wants to maintain as much of a neutral ground as they can, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral?
Yeah. And
when you say home team advantage?
Right. Right.
What the heck?
I don't agree with it. I didn't make that call. But so we won't have the authentic Tampa Bay Bucks feel that we normally would. They'll allow, like I said, they'll allow them to fire off in pregame when they're introduced. Right. And the other thing about it is the Super Bowl is in Tampa, which is right down the road from us. In case you didn't know, we're in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's like right down the road. We had plans to go down there no matter who was playing.
Right.
And now they have a home team playing.
Right.
And it's right down the road, and we can't go.
Yeah.
It makes me want to just freak out, man.
Well, first off, I didn't hear the 17. I've heard like 30,000.
No.
I've heard like 30,000. They're going to sneak them in. They're going to sneak them in. They're going to put them in 30,000, maybe 40,000 people. Because, they got to do. That's number one. Number two is why can't they fire the cannons off when both teams score?
That would be fine.
That's neutral, right?
You got the ship there.
Yeah,
you got the damn thing. Just use it.
Right.
You ever been on that ship, by the way?
No.
It's really fun.
No.
Yeah, it's really neat. Yeah, they let you, during the game, they let people come up onto the ship and kind of walk around and take pictures. And
right.
As long as you keep the line moving, they don't care. And, it's pretty neat. It is.
Okay. All right.
Great view from the ship.
All right, that's awesome. We got a Super Bowl to talk about. I'm excited about talking to it. I'm ready to jump into this thing. Are you ready for some Super Bowl talk? We'll do that right now. Jason, why don't you, the head guy, it's starring Jason Powers. We got Jay Sizzle. I'm the low man on the pole, even though I did win the pick segment. Even though I did.
Well,
I got a haircut, too.
Well, maybe you didn't. You mentioned a few weeks ago on this program that you thought that the Super Bowl should count as a bonus win.
Oh, okay. We can do that. I don't care.
So, if that's true, I can still catch you.
Well, it doesn't matter because I'll concede right now if you want me to, because that's not the important thing. The most important thing about this show to me is that we did it. We lasted the whole season.
Right.
We made it through football. We had a great time doing it. Yep. We had a lot of fun talking to people online about it. And, I don't really care if I win. I have fun picking the games. I have more fun talking about it with you on the show and the wonderful, amazing Jay Sizzle.
Sizzle, say hello to all of the throngs
Hi, everybody.
of fans.
All right.
The devotees.
But I want to hear your thoughts on this game. I'm ready for this. I want to hear this.
All right. Well, there's a lot of factors to consider in here. One of them is Tom Brady's record. He has 6 wins in the Super Bowl. People refer to him as the GOAT. I know you don't, but people in general do.
Not yet.
Okay. But yeah, I guess 6 Super Bowl titles doesn't get you, the GOAT. But all right. Regardless, 6 wins in the Super Bowl. But however, he also has 3 losses in the Super Bowl. So it's not like this man is unbeatable. In fact, I believe he even got beat by Eli Manning one year, didn't he?
2 years.
2 years.
Twice.
2 years. Twice. You're right. Twice. Yeah. It was both of the rings that he got. And, no disrespect to Giant fans out there, but Eli Manning is not as good as Patrick Mahomes. So, there are many things to consider. Injury report. The Chiefs might be down one of their running backs, Le'Veon Bell. Okay, maybe. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna miss. Also, the Bucks are probably going to be missing Antonio Brown. He is currently listed as doubtful, so I would estimate his chances of playing at about 10-15%. He's probably going to miss. And he's big game James. You know what I mean? He's the guy that has been there, done that. He kicked ass with the Steelers for a decade, and there's a reason they went out and got him was so he could be available if they made a deep postseason run. Now they're making that run, and he's not going to be there. The other thing is the home field advantage. How big of a home field advantage is it really going to be? Well, we've never seen one in the Super Bowl, so this is going to be very interesting. But with only a third of the fans there, how big of a home field advantage could that possibly be? It's not like it's going to be a packed house of 55,000 fans screaming their heads off the whole time. And it would be, at least 2/3 Bucks fans, at least. So that kind of diminishes the home field advantage that everybody has been making a big deal about. I'm not willing to give my pick just yet, because we got a lot to discuss. But how are you feeling about it coming into this?
Well, there's so many interesting factors in this game.
Right.
When you look at this whole game as a total, let's just talk about Antonio Brown for a minute, Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Both played on the Steelers.
Yep.
Okay, so, Antonio Brown wants everybody to know he made the right choices. I mean, he's got a little bit of an ego.
No,
Think
not
so?
him.
Le'Veon Bell, what did he do?
Controversy.
He decided to not sign a franchise tag and set out for an entire year, got a big contract with the Jets. They got rid of him. They threw him to Kansas City. And here they are, both the Steelers, former greats, because when those guys were playing, Le'Veon Bell was in the backfield, Antonio Brown was a big play wide receiver. What was going on? I'll tell you what was going on. What was going on was big-time production for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those guys are on opposite sides of the field. There's a little something going on with those two. There's probably a little something going on with this. As far as home field advantage is concerned, the Bucks jerseys are not red, but they're close. So therefore,
What is that?
they're not red. They're not Kansas City red.
okay.
But they're close. When you put that red, kind of red, it's like I don't even know what the color is. It's some kind of fancy color, but it's similar to red, but not exactly.
Crimson. It is.
Okay, well, crimson red, we've all heard that. When the Kansas City Chiefs look up in the stands, they're going to see that sea of red that they're used to in Kansas City. So they're gonna see that whole red thing up there. They're gonna feel comfortable out there, and the fact that Kansas City's already played in Tampa Bay this year already. So I don't think there's going to be that much of a home field advantage. Not only you got the fan thing that you
Well, there's the
mentioned.
travel thing. Kansas City has to fly all the way to Tampa Bay. Tampa's been here, the whole time.
It's north to
Right.
south. It's
I think
not
that
east to
works
west.
against
It doesn't
Tampa.
count.
Now, she's the travel expert. She's the one that's always say that again, Sizzle.
It's north to south, not east to west.
Well, it's
or
kind
west
of
to east.
west.
Okay,
I mean east.
It might be one
Southeast.
time zone.
yeah,
an hour.
Yeah, but
It's not 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah, but the whole
Doesn't
different
really
thing
matter.
is that the Chiefs, have not had to go through everything that normally you go through on a Super Bowl. They had the big press conferences, all these interviews, 10 million people shoved in everywhere, constantly asking for this, constantly asking for that. They just get in front of a laptop now because of the COVID thing. So, the pressure. I don't think there's much of a home field advantage. Which
Yeah, I don't either.
I just don't
I think
see.
people are playing that up too much, and that's a lot of the fans, but some of the media. I think they're playing it up too much.
Yeah, I don't see it at all, really, in this game. I can tell you that I have a lot of thoughts about who's going to win the game and why they're going to win it. Everybody talks about, it's the great Tom Brady. He's the guy. He's been to 9 Super Bowls, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's been to 3 AFC championship games. He's already been to MVP of the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. He's the young buck. Nobody throws the ball better than Patrick Mahomes. It is not about that. It is not Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. I'm going to tell you what it's going to be about right now. First, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs defense and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that wins this game. It is not going to be those quarterbacks. And the reason why I say that, I'm thinking Tom Brady's probably going to throw 2 picks. I'm thinking he's going to throw 2 picks. You have to remember the last time these two teams played together, it was 24-0 quick. Tyreek Hill, 200 yards.
Right.
Very
Lit
fast.
Lit it up.
Very fast.
As usual.
And, of course, the Bucs defense came in, and they were able to get back in here. But here's another key factor. Leonard Fournette. Let me tell you about Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, during that last game, missed a lot of blocking assignments, protection. See, you're not going to confuse Tom Brady. He's got too much experience, okay? You don't have to confuse him. You need to confuse Leonard Fournette, because if Leonard Fournette's not getting the ball handed to him and he's got a pass
You need
protect,
to focus on Ronald Jones. You know.
Well, that's true. But I think Fournette's going to play more than Ronald Jones. But I'm just saying that Fournette missed several key blocking assignments last time when they played. It caused Brady to throw an interception one time. He got sacked another time. He was hurried many more times. And I think that confusing Tom's going to know what's going on. Trust me. I mean, he's going to know. But young guy like Leonard Fournette, he also got to look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, were they there last year? Pretty much the same team, right? I mean,
it really is.
Pretty much the same team.
The only guys that they're really missing, the key guys, one of their key safeties, and their amazing all-pro guard, offensive lineman, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, both opted out. But that having been said, you really haven't seen that much of a drop-off this season.
No.
Especially considering that those two were both really key, to the Chiefs last year. One thing that I find kind of interesting is that the Chiefs. Okay, I lost my train of thought. You go ahead. Hey, it happens.
No, I'm just looking at the defense. Because see, a lot of people look. I love watching the ball being thrown all over the field. I think it's fun. I think it's wonderful catches, great plays, diving this. I love that stuff. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But that's not what's going to win this game. If it's raining and it's muddy in Tampa, and it's supposed to rain Sunday, the ground game and the defense is going to take control. Going to take control of this game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a matter of what defense can stop the other guy. Because we know that Tom Brady's got weapons. We know that Patrick Mahomes has got great weapons. But I'm more worried about these blocking assignments. I'm more worried about, if you're a Tampa Bay fan, I'm more worried about the blocking assignments from Leonard Fournette. I'm more worried about Tampa Bay Buccaneers corners, because those guys they can't handle Travis Kelce. They can't handle the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. They can't handle him.
Well, one of the thing that I forgot a moment ago, what I was going to mention, the Chiefs at one point earlier this season, when I believe it was either 5 or 6 games straight, that they won all of those games, but all of those games were decided by 8 points or less.
8 points.
Which is interesting. Now, again, you don't expect a team that goes 14-2 to blow their opponent out every time.
Right.
But I just found that interesting. The point, the larger point of that is in those games that were close, in that little series of 5-6 week span. I think it was a 6-week span. They won every one of those games. They did manage to pull it out. They do have Patrick Mahomes, who has more confidence in. From his team than just about anybody except that's not named Brady.
I get it. For you people out there, and let me put this game in another perspective besides the defensive and running back perspective. Because the Chiefs were there last year, because their key guys were there last year, there's not going to be any fumble fakers. Leonard Fournette has coughed up the ball before. Yeah. Mike Evans has never been in this situation. Godwin has never been in this situation. Now, Gronk has, and I get that, but we all know Gronk is not what he used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I call him the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers, but that's beside the point.
He was a ghost the first 5 weeks of the season.
And I'm saying that, is he going to suck it up and play? Yeah. But I think, a lot of these guys, they've never been in this position before. Never been in this position. So there's going to be a lot of jitters for Tampa Bay. Even though they're at home, I'm feeling that.
Here's something else that I wanted to mention. You mentioned Gronk, and a few minutes ago, you mentioned blocking assignments. You might have noticed last week, the Chiefs actually experimented with having Rob Gronkowski on the defense for a few plays. And from what I'm hearing, the Bucks have a kind of a shocker plan in that in certain situations, especially if the Chiefs are trying to come from behind, that they're going to put Gronkowski on the field to cover Travis Kelce, which I think is a really interesting idea because they're both basically cut from the same mold physically. These are both, really large guys, huge thighs, thick shoulders, wide necks. They're both basically built the same. The problem is that I think that strategy, if they do that, even if they do it a little bit, it could backfire in a major way. What they're planning on when they're doing that is they're planning on Gronkowski's going to jam him at the line. And that's fine. But Kelce is several years younger, and he's got a little bit more pep in his step. All it's going to take is one key play where he gives him a juke or a shimmy off the line. Boom. He's suddenly running an out route or a crossing route, and he could end up being wide open. So if they do that, anytime that Gronk is trying to cover Kelce, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Tampa Bay safeties, both of which are pretty banged up coming into this game. Mm-hmm. So that's just something I wanted to point out.
The backhand of the Buccaneer defense is the worst part, and I think that's what's going to get eaten up here. Now, so what do you think about the game? What do you think? Who's going to win? Talk to me.
Okay. In doing my research, I looked up 25 different experts because I was having a real tough time with this. This is just info. 25 different experts respected from across the sports media. And 23 of them were taking the Chiefs. 23. The highly advanced computer models that you sometimes read about online, there's a couple of different ones that are, really respected. One of them has the Chiefs winning by 2. One of them has the Chiefs winning by 3. Point spread, depending on where you look, is 3 to 3.5. My feeling on this is that you either way you pick, it's going to be the wrong pick. And this is what I mean by this, Steve. This is what I mean. Okay. If you take the Chiefs, if you take the Bucks, there's going to be all kinds of people out there. They're saying, are you nuts? What is wrong with you? You've got the defending Super Bowl champions trying to keep their title. You've got Patrick Mahomes, the reigning league MVP, who could actually have an outside shot at winning it again this year, which when did they announce that? Right after the game, right? It's like a week after. And, how can you pick against the best tight end in the league, the best wide receiver in the league, and on and on and on and on and on. But if you pick the Chiefs, there's that problem, the GOAT. I told you a few weeks ago about the 3 undeniable truths in life, and one of them is never underestimate Tom Brady in the playoffs. And he's proven so far that is one of the undeniable truths of life. I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. I think it's going to be close. I like the Chiefs by 5. Did you have an over-under on this or a point total on this, Jen?
I do not.
You do not.
We can look that up. Well, I'm going to...
I do, however, have one interesting little fact.
Oh, okay. Tell us your fact.
Yeah. So the mayor of Tampa has said...
Oh.
Did you read that?
It's just a joke. He doesn't mean it seriously.
Come on.
However, if they
she
win...
She said that if Tampa Bay brings home the Super Bowl title, Lombardi Trophy, back to Tampa, that she is going to rename the city Tampa Bay.
Now, she's just kind of joking about that, but I do want to say this. If they do win, there is a chance that happens. Because the Bucs have been one of the league's most beleaguered teams for how long since their inception? When did they come into the league, Steve? You're the history advocate here.
76,
70, yeah, I knew it was in the 70s. And all that time, they have never been even, close to this close. Mm-hmm. And they can smell it. If they do bring that title home, you might see that actually happen. I like the Chiefs by 5 in this game. I'm thinking something like 30 to 25, 29 to 24, something like that. Now, I'm ready to actually. Before we get to what you have to say, let's go to our esteemed board op over here.
Yeah,
Sizzle. How are you feeling about this game? Do you have any other nuggets of wisdom or insights that we should know about? And who do you like
that? Nuggets of wisdom.
That was good, actually. Yes, I like that too. Well, it's interesting that you should ask me because I was actually asked this at work the other day. Who do you got for the Super Bowl? And before I had a chance to think about it, my mouth said Tampa.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stick with that. I have been
Okay.
picking against Tampa the whole playoffs because I'm like, there's no way. But you know what?
Tampa Tom has proved
I'm
you wrong
taking it.
every
I'm
step of the way.
I'm gonna take Tampa in this one.
I don't blame you.
And I was just I've been reading some other stuff, and it said history suggests that Tampa will win.
Point number 1, your pick is wrong. But point number 2, my pick is probably wrong too. All right,
I got
Steve
good
Champagne, tell us what history says about this game.
I got
because
good
you
news
love
and
to
I
go
got
in.
bad news for you.
It's very difficult to win 2 back-to-back Super Bowls.
It is, but they're here. Steve, what do you got?
Well, I got some good news and some bad news for everybody out there.
Okay.
First off, let's review history for just a moment there. As Sizzle's trying to get the camera straight over
History is speaking.
there. Let's review history here. And you already brought this up. The Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Twice.
They had a they shut Tom
With
Brady
a
down.
mediocre quarterback. by
No,
the way.
they shut Tom Brady down.
Their defense stepped up.
Did
Yeah,
they not
certainly.
do that?
Sure.
They shut him down.
Sure.
Okay. The undefeated New England Patriots
Yep.
got shut down.
Is the Chiefs D good enough to do that is the question.
Well, the Chiefs have the same defensive coordinator. Steve Spagnuolo was a defensive coordinator for the Giants.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Okay. And now he's with the Chiefs. So if anybody knows how to stop Tampa Bay, it's going to be Steve Spagnuolo from the Chiefs. Okay. And I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. Okay. But I'm going to take them by 10.
Ooh.
Okay. It's not going to be close, ladies and gentlemen, for you people out there. But if you're a Tampa fan, here's the good news. I'm about 70% wrong in Super Bowls. I'm always wrong 70% of the time.
Okay.
I'm usually wrong, in Super Bowls. I don't predict. Obviously, I won the year's predictions. I did this, that, and the other. I did all that. But Super Bowls, I'm not very good at picking. I am... and I really want Tampa to win. And I'm not picking the Chiefs because I want Tampa to win because I'm usually wrong. I'm picking the Chiefs because I honestly think the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Yeah.
They got the defensive coordinator that knows how to stop Tom Brady. He's done it before. I don't trust Bruce Arians. Look, he's trying to work Gronkowski in the defense. This is not the time for that. This is the time to focus on what you do best, perfecting it, getting it down to the science, and going out there and kicking the Kansas City Chiefs in the ass. That's what it's about. It's not about experimenting. And Andy Reid, by the way, in case you didn't know, is unbelievable coming off a bye week or when his team has had a week's rest.
That's true. That's true.
So Andy Reid is going to dial some plays, and everybody in Tampa Bay is going to have their heart
These
broken.
are two good coaches, man.
Yeah, they're going to have their hearts broken, and the reason they're going to have their hearts broken is because Kansas City is going to run all over them. If I'm wrong, I'll be the happiest guy in the world because there is no I want Tom Brady to win this because he's old, because Tampa never wins anything. Okay, I want this to happen because it'll be history.
I want Tampa to win.
I want
Tampa to win. I'm going to go on record and say that I want Tampa to win. A, because the Chiefs won last year, and they're probably going to be in the Super Bowl in another year or two.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And B, because like you mentioned, Brady can add to his illustrious resume, and it would be astonishing if he was able to leave from New England. And they had that famous Brady-Belichick divorce where they went their separate ways. And it would just be a storybook amazing thing if he was able to, in his first year in a different conference, take his team all the way. I don't care what they were like before he got there. Well, I mean, I kind of do, and they weren't that great. They were decent. But just the fact that he would be able to do that would be so just amazing. And I mean, as if you need to put a cap on his career, because you don't. His career speaks for itself, but it really would be something to see.
Well, who's the game more important to, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady?
I would say Mahomes. I would say Mahomes.
It's more important to Mahomes.
But you know what? It's close.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
No, I'm going to tell you why it's not. Okay? Because if Patrick Mahomes loses to Tom Brady in his first year, during a COVID year, with no preseason, at 43 years of age, when he is in his prime, okay, he will never, even if he wins 7 Super Bowls, be the GOAT. Never. He will never be the GOAT because he will not have been able to beat Tom Brady. It will never have happened.
Right.
Okay. So it'll never happen. He won't be the GOAT.
It would be like if LeBron was playing against Michael Jordan at the tail end of Jordan's career, and LeBron felt him in the finals. You know, it would that would be the difference maker.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying he has to win this game if he wants to one day be called the GOAT, if you will.
And he does.
And
if
Tom Brady wins this game, I might just change my mind and say he's the GOAT. Right now, I don't have him as a GOAT. Some of you might think he's crazy. I think he's the LOAT.
The LOAT. Oh God, this ought to be good. What does that stand for?
The luckiest of all time.
Oh, come on. Steve Champagne, you're killing me.
Oh, yeah.
You're killing. You know, I would have respected you more if you would have called him the COAT. The cheater of all time.
No.
I would have respected you more for that. The luckiest of all. You gotta be kidding me, bro.
Well, I can back that up.
That's okay. Back it up. This ought to be good. Let's see.
All right.
Go
Well,
ahead.
let's just say this, for example. Let's just throw this out there. All right. And we'll just start from, because most people get caught up in the moment. So I'll start from and work my way backwards.
By the way, before you start, you said the luckiest of all time.
Yeah.
And he was the victim of David Tyree's helmet catch.
That's correct.
Wasn't he?
That's correct.
Which was really, really lucky for the Giants in that game. Mm-hmm. Just pointing it out there, just throwing that out there. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right. So you got how many Super Bowls?
I'm sorry?
How many Super Bowls does he have?
Brady?
Yeah, he's got 6, right?
He's a 6 out of 9.
Well, what happens if we don't have the biggest coaching meltdown at all time when the Falcons just absolutely blew it coaching-wise? Does he win that Super Bowl? That's not the Falcons' fault. That was bad freaking coaching right there. Okay, so that means he's got 5 Super Bowls. But
again, the helmet catch offsets that.
I'm not done. He's got 5 Super Bowls.
Go ahead.
He loses that. Okay. Now, if they don't also have another bonehead coaching move, I remember the Seahawk game. They shouldn't have thrown the ball right there. Okay. So if they don't do that, okay, and the Seahawks run that ball in like they're supposed to, then he has 4 Super Bowls. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm not done yet.
There's more.
There's more. Okay. There's a guy. I don't know if you remember him. His name was Adam Vinatieri. Okay.
Remember him well.
Let me see.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Did he not kick Tom Brady into the Super Bowl, much less to victory in the Super Bowl? How many times? I don't know how many times. How many times did he do it? Okay, there's another guy out there, and I'll just throw this out there.
Patriot fans are going to eat you up.
Okay, let the Patriot fans eat me up. They got 6 Super Bowls. I'm not saying Tom Brady's bad, but he's not the GOAT. If he wins this, he will be the GOAT. Because there's a guy who wore the number 16 who's got a maroon red jersey on by the name of Joe Montana, who did not once but twice lead his team over 85 yards down the field with a little over 2 minutes to go with a touchdown pass. 2 touchdown passes in 2 Super Bowls, by the way, not any field goals. And then he demoralized John Elway, who many think is the greatest of all time, when Joe Montana just tore the Denver Broncos apart. And on top of that, he beat this other guy who's pretty good at quarterback. His name is Dan Marino. Okay, whipped the hell out of him. Okay, and he did it with touchdown passes. He didn't do it with field goals. Okay, and I'm not saying that Tom Brady's not a great quarterback. What I'm saying is, when you're 4-0 in an era to where I can hit you in the face, I can put my fingers in your eyes, I can step on your ass, and there's no penalty, and you're 4-0, Look at all those clutch plays that Joe Montana made.
Okay, we can debate all day about.
Well, we might do a show on this.
We can debate all day about
But
who's the GOAT.
I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady's going to throw 2 picks in this game. It's going to be extremely costly. The Bucs will never recover. They're going to be down by 18 points at one point in this game.
I am going to let your lunatical ramblings about Tom Brady being the luckiest player of all time speak for themselves. I'm not even gonna address that.
Let him have the Vikings kicker. Let's see
There's
how
an
many Super Bowl
elephant in the
wins.
room. It's like that commercial. Blue. We all see it.
Yeah.
We all see
Right.
it.
So you got a Hall of Fame kicker. If you don't have a Hall of Fame kicker, how many you win? How many do you win?
Oh, for Christ.
How many do you win? How many do you win? How many do you win? Because
Talking about maybes.
okay,
and
I'll tell you
could-be's.
what. I'll tell you right now. Why don't you ask the Buffalo Bills how important a kicker is?
Oh,
Okay.
bro, too soon.
Okay,
Too soon.
Why don't you ask, Jim?
40 years is too soon. On
Okay,
that,
why don't
man.
you ask several of these guys how important that kicker is? He kicked his way to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying Tom Brady's not great. If he wins this game, he will get my GOAT vote.
Well, that's fine. When Tom Brady gets into the Hall of Fame and gets enshrined, he'll have Adam Vinatieri come up and give his speech because that's the proper thing to do, right?
No.
Let.
No, that's not the proper thing to do.
You know what? Just for fun, honest to God, Steve Champagne, I love you like a brother. You just pissed me off with that load comment.
It's true.
Here's what I'm
I'm
going to
telling
do.
facts. You're telling fiction.
Here's what I'm going to do.
How many games? How many AFC Championship games did he win with field goals?
Okay.
How many?
You're
Wait
always-
a minute. Oh, let's forget the catch between Joe Montana and Dallas Cowboys. Was that not a clutch play? You can't tell me.
You are the person always talking about how history repeats itself, and we need to listen to history.
Yeah.
Okay. History is teaching us and letting us know, in fact, you even admitted it, that you're wrong on Super Bowls about 70%
That's
of
true.
the time.
I am wrong.
Now, here's what I'm going to do, just for fun.
Okay.
Just for fun. You can count it as one bonus win if somebody gets it right. Just for fun. I want to make it very clear. I already have multiple bets out on this game. I have money on the Chiefs. I have 20 here. I have 20 there. I don't want to say how much, somewhere else. But just for the purposes of this show, and because you pissed me off with the Brady Lote comment, I'm going to change my pick and go to the Bucs.
Okay.
For the purposes of this show, I am taking the Bucs because I can't ride with you after that.
Well, we're gonna do. I hope I'm wrong, and most of the time I am on Super Bowls. But I'm telling you right now, as much as I want Tom Brady to win this game, he is not. Look, Michael Jordan in the fourth quarter when the game was on the line, what was he? Money. When Tom Brady was on the line, when the game was on the line, what was he? He was a kick to victory.
Oh, for crying out loud! And who got them into position to even kick the field goal?
Let's see, Adam Berry. Yeah. Those long 40-something yard field goals in swirling winds like Baltimore and Pittsburgh and New England. There was a snow game. When you remember that? Okay, this guy gave him. He'll tell you something. I'm not taking. You're mistaken. Taken away from Tom Brady to comparing a man who won 4 Super Bowls with touchdown passes against Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Okay. Jared Goff, Hall of Fame? I don't think so. Matt Ryan, Hall of Fame? Not quite. Eli Manning, Hall of Fame? Dan Marino, in Hall of Fame. Okay? In it.
Okay, but that's a separate conversation, though. That's another conversation.
And I'm saying that number 16, baby.
You literally said that Tom Brady was the luckiest player of all time. You said that. You cannot take it back. It's on tape.
And I'm going to continue that because if the Falcons don't have a bonehead coaching decision, they're up. Come on, 24 points in the Super Bowl. You blow that?
All right, my last thought on this game.
Come on. The Seahawks.
My last thought on this game. I'm still going to ride with the Bucs just so I can go against my bonehead partner Steve over here.
Okay.
But I will say this. The one thing that really concerns me and that I have not been able to get over in thinking about this game for the last 10 days has been the Buccaneers have to deal with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. And their safeties are A, suspect, and B, pretty banged up. You mentioned it yourself. Their defensive secondary is kind of their weak spot.
That's right.
And that really bothers me. It bothers me even more that the Bucs are experimenting with the idea of working Gronk in on defense to just go right on at the line of scrimmage and bang up right against Kelsey. I understand why they think that might be a good idea, but I'm telling you, Kelsey's got a little bit of a quicker step. If he can get past him at the line of scrimmage, then the sale will be up to the safeties who are not at 100% and who haven't had their greatest, they haven't been the greatest focal point of that defense to pick that up.
Thank you for making my case. And why
still riding with the
Kansas
Bucs.
City's going to trounce all over them. I want Tampa Bay to beat the living
You
crap
also
out.
have the wrong pick because you're picking against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
I am picking against Tom Brady.
Shame.
When this happens Monday, the reaction show, you're going to come in here and you're going to eat crow.
He literally wins twice as many Super Bowls as he loses, so let's just put it out there.
I'm putting it out there, too. And when I tell you 10 points, I'm saying 10 points. This could be one of the 30% times I'm right. Okay, on a Super Bowl. And like I said, look, I got nothing.
Tampa by 3.
I got nothing against Tom Brady. I want him to win this game. You have no idea how bad. But I'm telling you, he's not as good as some of the quarterbacks that came before him. He might have the rings, but, it's a team sport. This is not Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. I told you this before. There's 52 guys on that field, on that field looking across from each other, 104 guys. Okay, this is about coaching. This is about your brother who's next to you, and that's my brother right there. I don't care if we disagree or not. That is Jason Powers. That is Jay Sizzle.
That is Steve Champagne.
Yes, a legend in my own mind.
Recognize.
Yeah,
Respect.
A legend in my own mind. I am the greatest. Just ask my mom. I'm telling you.
Hey, she's never lied to you, right?
Yeah, and she's still
never
alive.
lied to you.
She's still alive.
And she said you were the best.
I am the best.
She's the best, actually.
My brother's probably rolling over in his grave. Well, he's not dead, but my brother's probably rolling over going, Steve, you're just such an idiot. Right now, how dare you bet against Tom Brady, this, that, and the other. But my brother also, I can't. I'm not going to say anything bad about my brother. He's a great brother. I love him very much. But this is my brother right here from another mother. We do this show, NFL, Weekly Positions, TCS Sports. We're in Studio 1 today. And the reason we're in Studio 1 is because we really don't have a 2, 3, 4, or 5 to go to. We only got one studio. That's the TV.
Make sure you click like and subscribe because we're going to be doing a lot of off-season content. We're planning on at least 6 weeks after the Super Bowl of content, if not more.
Man.
We're going to be
That
going.
many?
Yeah.
You mean I got to take this rental TV back?
I know you're not used to work, Steve Champagne, but you're going to have to work. That's right. You know what? I'll even cover the rental for another month.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
All right, thank you. Here,
I'll
sign
cover
this
the
receipt
rental.
right here. It is signed.
For Jay Sizzle, Steve Champagne, I'm Jason Powers. Like I said, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us here on NFL Weekly Predictions here on TCS, the Cheap Seat Sports. You guys are the best. You're the real heroes.
Shazam!